Hello, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to learn how to support your third grade learners who are struggling to read on grade level. By now, you have identified these students who are behind grade level as indicated by the STAR reading assessment. You should have placed these learners on an academic progress plan. Now you're probably wondering how to help them close gaps and make progress to pass the Oklahoma State test in April. Here's today's agenda. Today we're going to identify the needs of struggling learners using STAR reports. We're going to discuss what to teach first. We're going to discuss where to find lessons and resources and supplemental materials to support your teaching and the students' learning. And lastly, we'll discuss monitoring progress on skills. So let's begin with identifying the needs using STAR reports. Now, I know you've all been trained and you know how to go on Renaissance Place and pull up STAR reports. I'm not sure if you're familiar with all the different STAR reports or just pull the ones that you need to turn into your principal. So today we're going to get into one specific report that I find very beneficial in my teaching, and that is the STAR Instructional Planning Report. Now, this report can be pulled up for your entire class, or it can be pulled up for individual students. I recommend when you are working on interventions to pull up the report based on an individual student. Now, I've pulled this plan up, this instructional planning report, for a particular third grade student. And you can see here that his scaled score at this time is 85. His projected scaled score is 178. He's currently at a pre-primer level, and his ZPD is 1.1 to 2.1. His Lexile's beginning reader 400L. It's obvious that this young man is very far behind, as you can clearly see in this quick snapshot of where he is. So, I know he's behind. This report clearly tells me that. If I scroll on down the report, you can see some different skills that you can work on with this particular young man. Now, if I look at these skills, I see that there's all sorts of phonics skills. Consonant blends, short vowel sounds, vowel digraphs. Let's see, 2-syllable compound words. Oh my goodness, there are so many different phonics skills listed here. Where do I start? I'm sure you're asking. Now let me begin by pointing out these carrots over here to the left. These are kind of our powerhouse skills, the skills that will get the child the most progress. So that narrows down your choice a little bit, but still there are all different phonics skills here. So if you go to my website and choose tiered intervention on my website, you can get in here and I have a phonics continuum listed. This phonics continuum lists all the different skills that are taught in phonics and in what order. This is a great little tool that you can use in planning what to teach when with these learners that are behind. I noticed that short vowel sound CVC words is right up here at the top, and that is also one of the skills that, wrong tab, that my student needs help on. This should have been taught in first grade, and he clearly needs help with this skill, so I think that's probably where I would start with this particular learner. So now I know this particular learner needs help with CVC words, as we call them. But how do I help him? What do I do? I know you are asking. So if you go back to my website, under tiered intervention, it's right here at the top. I've pulled it up. You can see intervention planning resources. I have compiled a list of different resources from around the web that you can use to plan your intervention lessons. I've put my two powerhouse websites right up here at the top, the Florida Center for Reading Research and a link to the West Virginia phonics lessons. These are both great for phonics instruction, phonemic awareness instruction on the Florida Center for Reading Research. It also has some great tools for fluency and comprehension. So Florida Center for Reading Research is a great place to start for any area of need in reading. West Virginia Phonics is, of course, a great tool for phonics instruction. So I have a student that needs help with CVC words. I'm going to go to the Florida Center for Reading Research. Now, I saw over on the continuum that is a first grade skill. So if I come over here to Florida Center for Reading reading research, I probably need to click on first grade skills. Now, if I scroll down here, this can be a little bit overwhelming because we have all the different areas of reading instruction. I know I'm in phonics. I'm probably going to start in encoding and decoding. Now, vowel stars. The student will blend sounds of letters to make words. This is short vowel words like dag, dog, dig, dug. Okay, you can use this to build words. This is a great little activity for a student to do. Great intervention tool. Student will blend sounds to make words. So this is short vowel sounds. And here is blending sounds of letters to make words once again. These are great tools. If you scroll down through here, there are tons of activities to use with your students during your intervention time to help with different phonics, different comprehension, different fluency skills. Okay, so please explore this website. Utilize this website once you identify the skill that your student needs help with. So if we come back here to the Reading Intervention Resources page that I have created on my website, you will see, like I mentioned, areas for most all of the different major areas for reading. I didn't include vocabulary, but it is to come. Different games. There are some games here. There are some intervention examples that I borrowed from Broken Arrow Public Schools that gives you some examples of different interventions that you might choose for different areas. Let's see here. There are, once again, more games and whatnot that I've borrowed. And down here at the bottom for comprehension and for phonics, really any skill, I've included ReadWorks and News ELA, which has leveled, free, I should say, leveled printed text that you can use to teach skills. So please explore all these different sites when you're planning your interventions and use the resources here. Everything that I've listed here is free and available for you to use. Now, next up, that's where to find resources for intervention. And after that, additional practice. Now, I realize that you only meet with your students 2 to 3 times a week. That's not enough to make the gains that we need to make as quickly as we need to make them. So I have also listed on my website some supplemental websites that your students can access at home with their parents to practice the skills. This is not an exhaustive list. There are many more websites I can add, and I will continue to add as I discover them and find them useful. So first of all, we have readworks.org. It's a great website that you can actually go in and set up lessons to target specific skills and assign them to your learners. It's great for comprehension. TeachYourMonsterToRead.com. This is a fun little website. My students really enjoy this website, and it teaches phonics skills. My 3rd, 4th graders even enjoy it. So please don't let the name kind of discourage you. The kids really enjoy it even at 3rd, 4th, 5th grade level. Starfall.com, they have an area that is for older learners. Many teachers are familiar with it and use it with younger learners, but there is a phonics area for older learners. And SpellingCity.com, you can go on Spelling City and set up specific spelling lists, whether you're targeting a specific phonics skill or just have a list of sight words that your student is working on. You can assign words that they use to play games and work on mastering. And then finally, this is a great tool that I found that not a lot of teachers are familiar with, Epic Books. It's not affiliated with Epic Charter School, but it's a great website that is free for teachers, and you can go in and set up your class on this website. And there is an endless selection of books for your student to read. You know, they say the fastest way to make gains in reading is just to practice reading. And so you can assign books for your student. You can let them explore with their parents. There are audio books. I say, having a student practice reading with the words on the screen, like in closed captioning or an audio book with the words on the screen is a great way to practice reading. I would encourage you to have all of your learners set up on this, not just the ones that are struggling, but it is a great tool to assign books for our struggling readers. All right, so that's additional practice. Finally, checking progress. Now, you've identified a skill to work on with the student. You've been working on that skill for a few lessons. You have the student working on that skill with Spelling City at home or ReadWorks at home. And it's been a week or two and you've had a few lessons, you've been practicing at home, and it's time to check progress. I recommend 4 to 5 lessons on a specific skill, whether that is short A CVC words or, sneaky E words or whatever the skill might be. I recommend 4 to 5 lessons in person with you over that specific skill. After you've had those 4 to 5 lessons, it's probably time to monitor the progress. So I would encourage you just to use a simple formative assessment. This is nothing fancy. This could be just a list of words that you've written on a page with that skill, that specific targeted skill. If the student can read 10 of those words, 8 of those words without any trouble, they've probably mastered that skill. And it's time to move on to the next skill on the STAR report. If they have not mastered the skill, it's time for you to rethink your lessons and maybe use another resource to intervene and try another way of teaching, try another strategy, okay? Now, in addition to your formative assessments, your small little brief assessments, you might want to do some STAR testing maybe every 2 to 3 weeks just to check their progress overall in reading and see if they're moving in the right direction. I don't recommend doing this too frequently because it is time consuming and the student can get really burnt out on the STAR test. So you don't want to do it once a week, but maybe every 2 to 3 weeks just to check their progress and make sure you're moving in the right direction, like I said. All right. Well, that pretty much sums up how to go about identifying skills to work on, how to find resources for those skills, and how to progress monitor those skills. Now, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is listed on the screen. You may call me anytime to get some more information as well. Please access my website for more information on RSA, on reading resources and the ELA framework. Thank you all so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.